All right, our last and final speaker for the evening is Tim Tsai. Tim's passion is helping those who are committed to achieving their financial freedom, and he is more than qualified for this passion. Tim retired at the age of 30, which he largely credits to investing in his financial education. What's most impressive is Tim became financially free in 25 months. And he's going to tell us all about how he did this through a combination of income properties, creative financing, wholesaling, and infilling in Canada, the US, and the United Kingdom. I will pass it off to Tim.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Well, how do you follow Kosi like that? Hey? So honestly, though, every time I hear stories like that, I just need to say this. In my story that I'm going to be sharing with you, nobody cried, nobody died, and I only missed a few meals and maybe a few sleeps from time to time, And so it always is super inspirational when you get to put on the same stage or in the same room now with people like Kosi, and lots to learn from each other. And I feel very, very grateful today. Honestly, though, is the fact that I was thinking about it when James was saying that this is the last mastermind that Mogul is having this calendar year. And I remember I was at the very first one in January when we could all see each other and be there in person right here in Edmonton. So that was really amazing. However, time has changed. But I'm going to tell you, the knowledge for financial intelligence and financial education and real estate investing has not. And so today, I'm really just hoping to share a few of the lessons and the tips that I've learned over the last decade plus now. And so I know everybody's got a different style. Bear with me tonight. I'm usually more of a flip chart and talk kind of guy. With Zoom these days, this is the new style that I do prefer, going back to the PowerPoint days. And so feel free to take pictures, screenshots, whatever you want. Today, very much the same idea. I want to share my 3 key ingredients with you in terms of how I was able to obtain financial freedom in 25 months. And I think for a lot of you guys, even though it looks like I do know quite a few of you in this room today, most of you seem fairly new. So welcome to Mogul Mastermind. And my name is Tim Tsai, and I was born and raised in Taiwan, actually. Moved to Vancouver in 1999 when I was 17, and then moved to Edmonton in the year 2009. So I've been here for about 11 years now. I know we got a lot of Vancouverites in the room tonight, and most of you guys are usually asking, why would you ever leave Vancouver and move to Edmonton of all places? And I'm going to tell you that story very quickly. However, as an Asian descent, like I said, in my story, nobody died, nobody cried. I barely missed meals. However, what that really means is that I came from a very, very typical and traditional Asian middle-class family. And when I first moved here, I moved here by myself as an international student. My parents didn't even come with me, and I'm the only child. But what that really means is when they send their kid abroad, they better gain some letters after their names. And so to my parents' dismay, as you can probably see, the only one that most of you guys probably recognize is the BBA one. So it does mean that I graduated university. However, the 3 acronyms that I've given myself over the last few years are the ones that I'm probably the most proud of. The first one is the fact that I still see myself as a professional real estate investor. And with that, what that really means is to this day, I'm still actively investing to generate active income and creating long-term wealth by increasing income streams every single day. And also a business owner as well. So I guess my trajectory or journey has been pretty much the exact opposite as Kosi's, because I did start in real estate. Real estate was my roots, and I was able to leverage real estate, the knowledge that I got and the net worth that I accumulated to go start acquiring businesses as well. However, my most proud acronym right now would be the AWM, which stands for Award-Winning Mentor. And simply because of the fact that after you have all the money you need, and I'm not saying I have all the money I need, however, the theme is financial freedom. Once you become financially free, what do you do with your time? What do you do with your life? At some point, I remember joking with my mentor, I'm like, you never told me that being financially free means that you got to provide free babysitting services for your friends. And so because When I retired at 30, what that also meant was that I didn't really get to hang out with a lot of people during the day, during the week, because all my friends were at work. And so it really gave me the time to dig a little bit on how I can create more meaning into my life as well. And so leading up to this point, I have invested well over $100,000 into my education and counting. And that's not just real estate or investing, that's personal development, professional development, and everything. Now, who here in the room knows a gentleman by the name of Jim Rohn, by the way? By a show of hands. Anybody? Awesome. So Jim Rohn is one of my absolute favorite motivational speakers, lifelong philosopher, whatever you want to call him. He said this: formal education will make you a living. However, self-education will make you a fortune. And I really took that to heart, because I grew up with a mother who was not good at school and a father who was first place in class from grade 1 all the way to grad school, and got into a government position that every single year they only hired 2 people. So I was never good enough academically speaking. However, once I understood that formal education does not determine where life can go, my entire world opened up. And I really want to emphasize on the counting part, is because every single year now, I still invest in the biggest asset that I have, which is me. Real estate and business aside, I hope everybody understands the fact that you're in a mastermind tonight. That means you're improving and furthering your financial intelligence and just making yourself better every step of the way. And so the second point, as what Rebecca already shared, I did become financially free 25 months after I started getting financial education. However, that record is no longer a record. A lot of you guys know about Trust Your Talent, which is a training organization that we have. We actually celebrated one of our students that achieved financial freedom in 7.5 months. It's a couple, dual income, both high earners as engineers. And so at the end of the day, going back to everything that we've all shared, it ain't about the number of doors, number of properties. It has everything to do with that number that you have for yourself. And you can measure it however you want, whether it be cash flow, whether it be number of doors, number of properties, areas that you've invested into. So this is why I wanted to share with you is the fact that I've had the fortune and the experience now to invest in 3 different countries. And I understand for us Canadians, a lot of the times, the grass always seems a little greener on the other side, and happy to chat about that. But I just really want to share with you the fact that after investing in different continents and different countries over the years, these are the 3 that we remain in and continue to build our portfolios in as well. And there are pros and cons in all 3 countries. Happy to chat. And this is really what I'm truly passionate about, is the fact that a lot of people tend to think that real estate is just a buy and hold game. And if we know it well enough, you know that it ain't the case, because what we know now is that everybody needs to have the right strategies to help them achieve the goals that they want to achieve. Because I have never met anybody who come into real estate investing, especially after they've been in it for 3, 5, 10 plus years, saying it's all about getting more doors. It's never about that, because it truly, at the end of the day, is about what real estate investing can do for you, your life, your family, and what you want to accomplish. And so, born and raised in Taipei, Taiwan, I want to put it out there just because some of you guys will pick up on my accent after a little while. I just shared with you, English is not my first language, so bear with me. Now, my biggest why about getting into real estate though, and funny enough, the first breakout room that I was in with Adrian, briefly shared this with the people in that room, which the reason why I got started was because I lost all of my savings in the year 2010, simply because of the fact that I went into a syndication deal that went sideways, and I had no way of knowing that was going to happen. And looking back, I simply know now that I did not have the knowledge to really comb through everything that was presented to me. So the first thing that I was doing was safety. Why? Because like a lot of people, I was brought up to work hard, get a good job. And I did just that. I had a good paying job, 6 figures in my mid-20s. And by all Asian standards, that was really good for my parents. And I got a fancy title too, so they were proud. They could brag about it with their friends. However, on the flip side of that, I was not a happy guy. And I was working 70, 80 hours on a weekly basis because when you climb the corporate ladder really quickly, guess what happens? You get to champion a lot more things. And championing a lot of times means doing more work and getting paid the exact same amount of money. And so I decided that I needed to put my money somewhere. Always thought real estate was a great, safe vehicle. And I will still say that now. However, back then, didn't know what I didn't know. So it was like the blind leading the blind. A coworker introduced me to a land development project. And so I put all my money in there because remember the time, 2009. Does everybody remember? Is everybody old enough to remember what happened in the year 2008 and 2009? Give me some responses here in the chat box. I'm really looking to see if everybody is old enough to remember what happened there. Yeah, global financial crisis. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that at a very tender age of 27, that my investment in RSPs and company stocks and savings accounts were already going down and growing backwards. And so I pulled all the money out, went into a real estate deal and lost it all again. And that's when I realized I don't know what I don't know. And it's time to eat a bit of a humble pie and tuck my ego away and learn. And so the other thing, though, is the fact that with the demanding schedule of our jobs, anybody still working, by the way? Is everybody financially free in this room? Okay, everybody's still working. I'm telling you, that was the thing. People want to ask me, how many properties have you bought? How many doors do you own? How much is your cash flow now? What's your net worth? How about I share a different set of numbers with you guys? My entire life so far, I'm going to share some numbers with you. I've had 3 minor heart attacks. I've had 1 heart surgery, 1 major depression, and I live with 5 autoimmune disorders on a daily. And so what I realized very, very early on at a very young age was that my life was not sustainable and I needed to do something about it. And I needed time to take care of my health so I don't become a burden for people around me. And after that happened, and by that, I mean financial freedom happened. Like I said, I had a lot of time to really think about, okay, what am I going to do with my life now? The answer became quite clear, was the fact that every single day is a gift right now. And I mean that. And for some of you guys in this room right now, you probably know this one gentleman who recently passed away from a massive heart attack. And it always hits me right here. And I'm not going to go into that, but I realize that for every single day that I'm still on this earth, I feel the responsibility that I need to share everything that I know with the world. And so the new calling for me, this is really just through a life coach that helped me solidify it. However, what I really just want to create for everybody out there is the ability and the options to choose the life that they want to live. And through financial education, through financial literacy, it's easy to actually accomplish that. So with that said, the first tip that I have for everybody, or what I call it, ingredient. These are the 2 people that have influenced me as an entrepreneur for a long time now, and they've done the results that they have created for themselves with their lives and given their upbringings. And Kosi can probably relate to Sir Richard Branson as well. He has dyslexia growing up too. And the point is, we've all had adversities to overcome. And this is why, very much like Kosi, I really admire your energy. And because these days, and we're the same age, by the way, I really do feel like I'd rather be hated for who I'm not than pretend to be who I am just so that I'm liked. So I'm going to share with you my journey, my opinions, and my perspectives on things. And the first tip that I'm going to give everybody is the fact that you need to hire a coach. If 2 billionaires are telling you, and that's billionaires with a B, not a millionaire, okay? 2 billionaires that are super successful in life and creating a positive impact for the rest of the world are telling you that they've got mentors, they've got coaches helping them every step of the way. I think there's a lesson or 2 there to be learned. Agreed? Yes, everybody? Awesome. Okay. And so what I've really learned though through my mentors, and not just one, I mean, you can start with one. Throughout the last decade plus now, I've accumulated a few mentors and coaches because I simply realized that I need to continue to grow the number one asset, which is me, every single year, no matter what. However, one of the biggest things that I learned when I first started having a real estate investing mentor was the fact that I started to be trained to see opportunities that I wouldn't otherwise have seen, because everybody else was in a very crowded space. Who here likes to browse on MLS all the time? That's not your job. When you have a power team, very much like what James has shared, and it's not your job. Build a team, which again, I'm already giving away one of my ingredients as well. That's what they are there to do, to support you. This is a team sport. However, coming back to my very first ingredient is the fact that I've learned to see so many different things that I didn't get to. And what are they? Well, learn from people who have done it, who have gone where you want to go. Because for those of you who don't have pen and paper, don't worry about it, but etch it in. Remember this. Repeat it to yourself 3 times, 5 times. Mentors help you collapse time frames. Because honestly though, I don't think I am any more special or any less special, average. I think if I work hard, I can get to the results with buying properties over time for the rest of my life, and I'll probably be pretty comfortable. However, in 25 months, I was able to retire myself. That probably would have taken me 25 to 35 years to generate. And that is the one biggest lesson that I have taken away from having a mentor. So mentors will collapse timeframes for you to help you get to your goals faster. By a show of hands, can I see anybody's ever hired a personal trainer to help them reach a physical wellness goal? There we go. When you did that, did you see results a lot faster? Yes or yes? Absolutely. And that's the same thing with financial wellness as well. And that's why I don't call it investing. I call it financial education. I call it financial wellness, because at the end of the day, I think all of us are looking for one thing, and that is financial happiness, not having to stress over it. And what that means a lot of the times though, because I understand we have a teenager in the room tonight, yes? But everybody else though, when we have life experiences, what that really means is that our mindset, our relationship with money has been accumulated over the years. And what that means is, in order for us to start something new, we have to expand or even change the context on how we see investing in real estate in general. So getting re-educated is definitely another one of this tip as well. And the third point, cannot stress this anymore. And this requires every single person to do a little bit of self-reflecting. Hold yourself accountable to your goal. What does that even mean? As mentors and coaches and trainers, we always say that if we want it more than you do, because I'm going to tell you this, I want this for everybody. However, if your trainers and your mentors want this more than you want it for yourself, it's game over. And so this is why we need to realize how you can actually plan to get to that goal. And I'm going to get into that with ingredient number 2. Fundamentally speaking, the last but the biggest lesson of all is this. Really understand the true meaning of asset versus liability. I realized when I lost all my savings, I was freaking out. Why? Because I realized I could work for the next 20, 30 years of my life and have that happen again, because I had zero control. And I realized at that point, I was my biggest liability, because my ignorance could cost me money then, and it could cost me money again. And so what I want to go into now is ingredient 2. Is to really have a plan. It's really funny how the dots are starting to connect. I think everybody's starting to see a theme here, is to have a plan. So what does having a plan really mean for everybody? Well, let's just go on a bit of a high level view here, okay? So use your emojis if you're too shy to unmute yourselves. If you want financial independence, give me an emoji on the screen. I'm very used to speaking to people live, so I need that interaction. If you can indulge me, that'll be really awesome. Financial independence? Awesome. What about happy retirement? Is on anybody's list? Cool. What about financial freedom? A lot of us in this room have already accomplished that, because that means work becomes optional. However, we're not saying that you always have to walk away from your JOBs. You're just over broke. However, it gives you the option. Okay, we always like to talk about options because money isn't everything. However, money gives you option. Let me ask you guys this. If you were to go out for lunch and you got a $5 budget versus a $50 budget, which one would give you more options? $50. And that's ultimately what we're talking about here. So it's not really about the money, it's about the options and the choices that money can afford you in life. What about leaving a legacy for your kids, for your family? Leaving something behind, letting them know that you do not have to be stuck in a JOB and just rely on one source of income and have zero control over your financial future. How about leaving a legacy? Anybody can relate to that? And what about this? Telling our bosses to pound sand. I quit. Okay, we don't get along. I don't like your style. See you later. Or, last but not least on this slide right here, if you got something else you want to, you want to recommend, put it down. Put it down in chat box for me. And I'm always looking to improve as well. Lifestyle. I've had a lot of students over the years where all they're looking to do is to improve their lifestyle while strengthening their financial security. Lots of people, dual incomes these days, making good money. However, life's not cheap, is it? And so this is why everybody's goal is a little different. So whatever that looks like right now, if you're making notes, write down the one word or the two words that really jump out at you the most, because you need that emotional connection to why you even want to start to learn how to invest. For me, this is my why: time spent with family and friends. When I was 20 years old, I was wheeled into St. Paul's Hospital in downtown Vancouver for my heart surgery. And I did not even call my parents to let them know that I was going, because I was old enough to sign my own waiver and I didn't want my parents to freak out. However, as I was doing that, as that was happening, I remember making a promise to myself that I'm gonna live a life that's different from everybody else's and what others expected of me. However, as a young child and as a single child from the family, I realized I was lonely growing up. And so what that means is I've always managed to surround myself with good friends. And so one of my biggest whys, if you will, it wasn't about quitting my job, financial freedom, or anything. It was about having the options so that I can have people surrounding me, even when they cannot afford to. So one of my things is to take my friends on vacation, subsidize them or pay for them even that they cannot, because to me, time is precious. And for everybody in this room, I want to share this phrase with you, and it's called time is everything. Time is no longer money, my friends. Time is everything. And so once you can understand that, you understand how important it is for you to start to collapse your time frame so that you can move forward with investing with purpose. And so just some pictures I want to share with you. And so what that really means is that it's very important. If you're part of Trust Your Talent already, you understand this little simple formula, okay? Everything is goal driven. Everything is goal driven, because so many people get into real estate investing for the sake of buying real estate because it sounds great. And I don't remember who said it now, but I 100% agree, and 1,000% agree with the fact that you need to put your ego aside. You don't need 300 doors. You don't need 200 doors even. I know an investor who owns one property. However, that one property spits out enough cash flow, about $20,000 a month, and she's been able to retire herself at the age of 25. So it's not about the number of doors, it's about your goals and what's going to make you and your why become the vision, your vision become a reality. And so the way we do this is one simple formula: SMP. S stands for strategy, M stands for market, P stands for property. If you're starting with property, you're not looking at the numbers anymore, okay? Because you are going to be following what the market is doing. And most people's only strategy is what we like to call buy, rent, and pray. So do it right from the beginning so that you contribute to your goal in a very direct and speedy manner, because time is everything. So the funny thing is I borrowed a few slides from my January talk at Mogul. So right here is one of the strategies, and that was my baby strategy that I shared with everybody, is the fact that this is a solid 3 to 5 year plan, even if you have a very demanding job. So what I shared with everybody, and I know if you're a Mogul member, you do have access to go back and watch the recording. So this is not something that we probably will spend a lot of time on, but I just want to build some context for everybody, which is one strategy, part-time effort, only 4 deals per year consistently. And that means you can do it yourself if you are a high income earner and you've got qualification, or you can even bring in joint venture partners as well. And right now, because we're in the Edmonton market, I'm gonna use an average property purchase price at $400,000. Fair, yes? Awesome. So this is a strategy we call lease options. And a lot of you guys know it as rent to own, but I'm gonna share the numbers with you very, very quickly. Okay, so if you do 4 deals in the first year and you follow the right structure, you can potentially add up to $88,000 to your income that 1 year. And if you have to split 50-50 with a JV partner, let's just say an additional $44,000 or an additional $3,600 a month. So I want you guys to start thinking about the numbers, not the strategies, not the number of properties, but the numbers. What would an extra $3,600 on a monthly basis in cash flow do for your life, your lifestyle, your family? Would you start to feel a little bit more relaxed about paying bills? Would you start to feel a little happier and less stressed? Because that's ultimately what we're looking for. And for some of you, if that's not enough, that's fine. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And I think that's a theme that's been very consistent tonight as well. So you're going to be cash flowing from the first 4 deals that you did, and then you're going to continue to do 4 more. So we're just keeping it very, very consistent. Year number 2, you've created an additional income of $140,000. Chop that in half once again, 50-50, split with your JV, 70,000. When was the last time anybody got a $70,000 raise in 2 years? If you did, you need to share your secrets as well, okay? Make sure you talk to the Mogul team. You gotta share your secrets. I don't know anybody that's like that. And this is why when I saw this, it really hit me hard that it's not about buying properties. It's about the numbers and what it can do positively for your life. And so year 3 now, still cash flowing from the first 8 deals that you completed in the first 2 years, and then you do 4 more. Remember, a marathon, not a sprint. As a result, you've created an additional $193,000 a year. Again, chop it in half, $8,000 in additional monthly income. Do you think your life is going to start to feel a little better, a little different? Again, money's not everything. However, it is a very effective tool. Now, let's go into year 4 quickly. Cash flowing from all the deals that you've done so far. And we said in the beginning that these are our 3-year structure. So what that means is starting year 4, you're going to be selling those properties. Okay, that's the structure of this particular strategy. Some of you guys like to do the long-term holds. That's not what we're talking about here. However, remember, this is about being financially savvy and financially intelligent to get the numbers you need so that you can free up your time to pursue what you want to do in life. So very much like what James shared earlier as well. It's not about how many doors that he has, it's about what it can do and afford him to do, which is pursuing his passion to build a team that can serve more people. And so after this, do 4 more deals. Same thing every single year. We're just keeping it consistent. And what that means is starting year 4, you're making $326,000. Who here likes that number, by the way? I know I'm the last sharer tonight, but just give me some energy. Okay, who here likes to make $326,000? Okay, fine, 50% of that again. Who here likes to make an additional $160,000 a year? All right, if you're not unmuting yourself and like screaming right now, okay, then you probably need to check your sound. So that's the thing. This is one strategy, part-time effort, only 4 years. And I want to point out the fact that once you know how to do this for 4 years straight, every single year, $326,000, that is the new base salary, if you want to call it that, or income that you've created for yourself. Can you now go travel? Can you support your family a little better? Can you now donate to charity? Can you now quit your job and go volunteer or start that business you've always wanted to? It's what the numbers are doing for you and your life. And this is why so many people are like, hey, you know what? Lease option is just one thing. And I totally agree with you. And this is why I want to share with you the strategies that I have learned and applied myself over the last decade plus now to really create a portfolio that is sustainable, because that is one of the biggest values that we have here in at Trusted Talent, and personal value too, to be honest, is the fact that, again, we always say that this is not get rich quick. However, if you do it right and you build the right plan for yourself, it's get rich for sure. Okay. So money will follow good deals. How do you find good deals? And what's the definition of good deals? Good deals are the ones that will make you money, that you have analyzed thoroughly, which means that you know that you've taken all the calculated risks into consideration. And more importantly, it's well strategized, because you now have different ways to get in and out of a deal. Because one of my friends, he said it really well. You know what? When the market's just going up, 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 up by itself, even my 14-year-old teenager can make money in real estate. The thing about learning how to invest properly is that you now know how to make money, whether the market is going up, going down, or going sideways. That is true financial intelligence. And so with that said, I'm going to go into ingredient number 3, which is find your team. Find the right team members to support you. If you are choosing real estate as your vehicle, as your investing vehicle to create income streams and long-term wealth, make sure you write this down. There are six key people that most of us start with, okay, And you can add on different power team members later on, depending on the strategies that you go into. However, the first is your realtor. Because guess what? We're leveraging real estate as our main vehicle. And guess where we're all at tonight? A mobile mastermind get together. Realtor is your number 1. Number 2, a mortgage broker. Number 3, a lawyer. And honestly, in the long term, you probably will need 3 lawyers depending on how you grow your portfolio and where you grow your portfolio. The lawyer that we're talking about most of the times is a transaction real estate lawyer, okay? However, if you really want to grow this and protect yourself from an asset protection perspective, you also need a corporate lawyer that understands asset protection. Last but not least, I know it's not something that everybody wants to hear. The third lawyer, sometimes you might have to add into your power team, is a litigation lawyer. In my very early days, one of my mentors taught me in real estate, it's not if you're gonna get sued, it's when you're gonna get sued, especially when you get to a certain level. It doesn't mean that the lawsuit will go through. However, the threat may be there. But without going too much into details, realtor, mortgage broker, real estate lawyer. 4th one will be an accountant. Okay, and if you're making detailed notes, I just want to make sure that you also write down an accountant that's familiar with what we call a 3-tier structure. Because we talk about asset protection as well as tax sheltering. Next on the list, depending on the strategies that you're doing, most lease option strategies that we do in the properties that we buy leveraging that strategy are move-in ready properties. However, a lot of us like to do distressed properties, where we find distressed properties and we go through the BRRRR process and we hold it as an income property. So what that means is the next person you want to put on your power team is a general contractor. Power team member number 6 at this point is a property manager. If you're going to multifamily, and in an area that you don't personally live in, that's totally fine. You just need a property manager locally. So for most people, when they're first getting started, these are the 6 main power team members that they would put on their team. And last but not least, which is actually ingredient number 1, your mentor. Leverage your mentor. Your mentor will become your business consultant as well on your team. Okay. So with that said, just a quick summary for everybody. I hope you've taken some notes and want to leave this with everybody, which is the distance between your dreams and reality is called action. So that being said, here are some action steps that I have for you guys from my perspective. The first one is create, or if you already got one, review your personal financial statement. And if you have no idea what that is, make sure you reach out. Okay, your personal financial statement should have at least 4 major sections in there: your income and expenses, as well as your assets and liability. Step number 2. This should be fairly straightforward once you've done step 1. Determine your monthly basic expense figure. So how much does it actually cost for you to live on a monthly basis? We're not talking about, buying fancy handbags, nice cars, or going out on good vacations or eating out lots. We're talking about basics. And I know some people like to say, what if you got hit by a car tomorrow? Like, how much would you need so that you don't have to go back to work? I usually don't like to use that. However, if it helps you connect the dots, that's the number we're looking for, okay? If you're not able to go out to work and make an income anymore to pay your bills, okay, what is the number that you need covered so that you're still fed, there's still a roof over your head, and you still got clean clothes to wear? And then step number 3 is, this is a very, very important one. Write down some of your existing limiting beliefs about money and wealth, because over the last decade now, what I've come across is that everybody wants to make some more money. Everybody wants to be financially happy and secure. However, there's a lot of baggage that we've all carried with us. And here are just some of the examples for you. So you can copy that, you don't have to. However, here are just some of the guidance and support that I'm giving you so that you can see where I'm going with this. Because as much as people have the fear of failure when they don't get guidance and support, a lot of the same people also have what we call fear of success. Because they're now starting to worry, wow, if I need to spend a lot of time building my wealth, making my financial situation better for me and for my family, that means I'm gonna have to take time. It's gonna take time away from me spending time with my friends and my family. That's not gonna be good. Or I'm gonna stand out like a sore thumb moving forward because I'm gonna be at a different level. So think about what are some of the limiting beliefs that you currently have about money and building wealth. And last but not least, because there are a lot of people in this space, as you guys know, reach out to 2 to 3 industry mentors and coaches and training programs for strategy sessions to help you move forward. Okay, some people, I was on another meeting not long ago, and one person asked me, when should you look at getting a coach or a mentor? And my answer is right now. Never invested, right now. Investing for 10 years, right now. Why? Let me ask everybody this question. If you can just give me some interactions, that'll be awesome. Okay. Who here has a valid driver's license right now? Emoji would be great. Raising your hands would be awesome. Cool. So in the chat box, can you tell me how long have you been driving for? "24 years. Wow. Must be the Asian genes. Or it's hard for me to see you in a little square right now. Try, is it? 24 years. Okay, I've been driving for 20 years now. Okay, 11 years, long time. There we go. Okay, so if you're just brand new at driving, or 24 years, try 26. Okay, Jay won this one now. Okay, 26 years. Okay, I'm gonna just leave you for a little bit and come to Jay. Jay, you've been driving for 26 years. Would it be fair to say that if we were to put a driving coach in the car with you, within the first 10 seconds after you get on the road, he's going to be able to tell you how to correct some of the habits that you've picked up that may not be safe driving practices? Absolutely. And so this is completely up to you. Okay. Now, I just really want to say thank you to Mogul Mastermind tonight for having me again. Always, always a pleasure to be here and sharing my journey, my tips, ingredients with everyone. And here's how we can stay connected if you like to as well. On Instagram, you can find us there. And there's also a Facebook group that we have created over the last few years now. And a lot of networking has been done. You can also find JV partners, potential deals, as well as education materials too. And for some of you guys, you probably already have been watching my Daily Dose with Tim. It's hosted on facebook.com/the Tim Tsai. I've been creating series of educational videos on strategies like BRRRR, on lease options, on income properties, on credit, on fixing your credit, on a lot of different subjects over the last few months now at this point. So I hope you enjoy that. And for some of you who are looking to have a strategy session as well, again, go out there and look for yourself at Trust Your Talent. We do offer that as well. So you can go to trustyourtalent.ca/appointment and you'll be able to do a strategy session with a strategy coach. So that being said, make sure you do those 4 action steps. Be prepared. You have to be prepared. So many people said, very much like what James was saying, sharing his story, is that all of a sudden when he got an award, people thought he was an overnight success. I am never offended when nobody has ever heard of me when I speak at an event, because I spent the last 11 years building my portfolio, building my knowledge, building my base. And that's totally fine, because we always say that a minute on the stage takes 10 years to practice as well. And so make sure that you take that step for yourself, prepare, because it's not luck. The way we look at luck is when preparation means opportunities. You need to train yourselves to either create or find opportunities for you as well, so that all the preparation will become worth your while. So with that said, I'm gonna hand the stage and the mic back to the Mogul Mastermind team. Thank you so very much for having me again. I hope you guys enjoyed it.